Catharsis of creation.
It'll be cathartic. This will keep us together.
Hello friends, welcome back to the Catharsis of creation. So this video was actually supposed to be last week's video, but I ran into some supply hiccups with my materials. I ran out of stuff that I needed to complete it, and then it took almost a week to get everything, and so I ended up having to just kind of scramble and put together the Doomhammer video from last week to get something up. I had intended to put this video up last week because I had made the new intro, and it's relevant to what we're making this week, and I wanted everything to just kind of tie together in one video. As it turns out, I decided to change the intro a little bit more, as you saw. Added in some music, changed up the way the harmony sounded, ended up coming out with this like almost alien-ish sounding effect, playing with pitches instead of recording multiple track harmonies, and I think it sounds pretty cool. I'm not sold on the music part yet, so I may change that again in the future, but it was something I found in the free audio library on YouTube, and it mostly works. I wasn't pleased with the sound of the drum. Something messed up from when I had made it in Fruity Loops to when I recorded it in that audio, and just wasn't feeling it, so came up with something different, and that's where we're at. So this week I am doing another bead project. I am going to make the new channel logo, and hopefully I can put it up, not so much on this backdrop, because this is just like a film sheet over my door, but hopefully I can hang it up somewhere in the shop, and then sometime in the future we're going to be moving, and I will have a new shop space of some sort, and hopefully a more effective filming area, and I will hopefully be able to put the new logo up on the wall, but let's go ahead and get to it, because I'm rambling and I don't know what else to say. Okay, to start things off here, I've printed out the logo, and I'm cutting it up and taping it together so that I can have a full outline to try to give myself just a guide for how to do all of these curves and the letters. My pegboard for the beads is clear, so I can just lay them all on top of the outline and have a clearer picture of where I need to start placing the beads. I started with the outline. It seemed like the simplest solution. Just go in and get all the hard black curves so that I can see the overall shape of things and get a good feel for where all of the colors and details are going to go once the outline is in place. So a couple times through the video, it may be harder to notice sped up like this, but there's a couple times where I have to adjust the boards. I think there's some warping in one or two of them. I don't know if it's from my previous project or if they came that way or what, but they don't fit quite perfectly together. I'm going to end up replacing these boards eventually with some new boards, all of the same brand, all in one go, so that I know they fit together properly. These are the same ones from the Gundam set, but I went through and I cut the holes where the tabs go to try to make them fit together. So I'm starting the lettering now, and this is one of the more nerve-wracking things. Curves are already difficult, and then adding in a weird shaped font, also curved, is kind of daunting, but I feel with the outline behind it, it actually made it easier than I expected it to be. I just kind of followed where the lines were on the paper, I had to get a little creative with it. I couldn't match everything, like some of the details on the letter I has that little kind of like cross section to it in the font, and then like bits from the A's that stick out. I couldn't get all of that perfectly, but I managed to make them look like the letters they're supposed to be, I feel. And then once I started adding in the white color, the letters looked really good, and I knew that I had made the right choice to include the lettering instead of just doing the colored circles, which would have taken a lot more beads, which ends up being a problem later on. But I really like the way this looks as I get it filled in with the white. This is a super relaxing kind of process. I just sat down with an audiobook and went to town. Did it in chunks throughout a couple of days. Just sitting out in the shop, enjoying the time to myself, listening to... Actually, when I first started it, I was listening to podcast called The Old Gods of Appalachia. It's like a horror anthology podcast set in and around the region that I live. So that was a pretty cool thing. I'd listened to the whole season pretty much in one day while working on this project. So, here's a fun update. I, as you saw a few seconds ago for you, but a couple days ago for me, ran out of the green beads that we were using on the middle of this project. So I went on Amazon and ordered some more, and they came. And I guess the, like, mixed kit that I got that has all the various colors is a different brand than the Perler beads that I bought, because the color is just slightly different. It's really hard to tell until they're next to each other, and then it's not so hard to tell anymore. So I think what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna pull up all these greens and throw them back in there, and then we're gonna take those greens and redo this whole section. And then I've got blues to do this side, and I'm waiting on the purple still because Amazon decided to not ship it yet. But that's where we're at. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't think I'm gonna bother filming removing the pieces. I might. I don't know yet. We'll see. But I'm going to throw on an audiobook and get back to it. I ended up cutting out the portion where I just removed all the beads. It just didn't seem like it would be that entertaining in a video that's already a lot of sped up footage of beads being placed. And I think doing it in reverse would have added too much entertainment value. So here we are adding in the new green color, which is still mostly the same, it's just ever so slightly darker than the other beads were. My camera kept dying. Sometimes it was because the battery was dead, sometimes it was just because it's a potato. And so there's some jumps in the footage here and there where sections suddenly just get filled in magically. It wasn't necessarily intentionally left out. Just camera stopped recording and I didn't realize it until some time later. My $10, $15, whatever I paid for it, potato of a camera from Goodwill is effective, mostly. It's getting the job done for now, but it's definitely the first piece of hardware I want to try to replace when I can. But cameras are expensive, so I don't know. Don't know how soon I'm going to be able to do that. Honk. That's a thing. Anywho, it took a little while for the purple to show up. Amazon finally got it shipped to me, and I got it put in. I think by this point I had moved on and finished the podcast I was listening to, and instead was listening to Norse Gods by Neil Gaiman on Audible. It's a cool retelling of actual Norse mythology with Gaiman's spin on it. It's got some of my favorite Norse mythology stories in it, so I really recommend anybody interested to check out that version because it's pretty cool. The Audible version actually has Neil Gaiman reading it. So that was fun. Okay, so we've got the design complete. And this is where everything went horribly wrong last time. This time, we do have the boards more properly aligned. I do think the one that I placed in the middle is slightly warped, which may or may not cause problems for us. After the fiasco of the Gundam head, I did go and do some research, watch some videos, did some reading about other methods of ironing, specifically how to do larger projects like this. And everybody seemed to say that the best method for doing large projects is the masking tape method. Now, for anybody that doesn't know what that is, that means we take masking tape, we're going to cover the image in tape in rows that overlap just enough to make one solid piece of tape over the whole design. And then I believe you lift it off of the pegs, flip it over, and then iron the bottom side first. And then you can flip it over, peel off the tape very carefully, and iron the other side. I am a little worried. Masking tape is not the stickiest tape in the world. I do wonder if it's going to hold all of the design, and figure it out from there. Okay, so I'm just taking my little scooper spoon here and just gonna go over kind of every section, try to make sure this tape has the best chance of sticking to all the beads so that hopefully everything stays together when I lift this off. Now, I did take a little break after I got all the tape laid down. I went and watched a couple videos, did a little more reading, and from what I can see, people in the Perler bead community, hello to any of you that may be watching, there seems to kind of be a split on whether or not putting the holes in the tape is actually necessary. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna try to get all the tape on here, get everything nice and stuck down. I think I'm gonna try to take it off of the panels and then decide from there whether or not this is how this is gonna work or not. All right. Here goes nothing, I suppose. Oh, it looks like it's working. All right, we lost a couple. But that's okay. That can be fixed. Yeah, we had a couple fall out. But for the most part, everything seems to be where it's supposed to be. Just gotta go and replace these beads, and alright, this is real tedious and not super interesting, so I'll be back after I get all this back in place. So we're ready to do the melting, and I have opted this time to not poke holes in the tape. After the debacle of flipping it over and losing beads, which honestly wasn't quite that bad this time, I am a little concerned about trying to flip it over, poking a bunch of holes in it, and then trying to flip it over again with tape that is compromised. So, I think we're just gonna go for it like this. And I have to get a couple of heavy things ready to set on top of it to try to prevent warping as it begins to melt. Alright, let's see what happens. We're gonna take the stuff off now, rip up the tape, and hopefully not have a meltdown because everything's terrible. Everything's going to be great, right? Yeah. Honk. It's been a little bit. things have cooled down some. Let's pop this off. And we're gonna take a look, wiggle some stuff around, see what the seal is like and whether or not we need to do this side again or if we can take off the tape. There's still a little bit of a gap here, but it seems like the beads are connected as a whole. Got a little warping that will work out when we do the other side. I think I can take the tape off. No, I cannot. There's still quite a few pieces. Let me see. Can I just pull that bead right off? See? That is incredibly aggravating. So here we go again. I'm going to fight this warp a little bit while I'm working on this section. I left the iron on the whole time that I was waiting, so this is still nice and hot. Should allow me to do this pretty quickly. But I'm going to try not to rush it. I really need these blasted beads to seal together. You are here on this mortal plane for one purpose and one purpose alone. Be fused together in the form of art at my desire. Bend to my will, plastic. For I am your maker. There's more heat on the wood than there is on the beads. So, anyway, gonna let this sit for 10, 15, 20 minutes. Give everything a chance to cool off and harden. And then we'll check it once more. And hopefully then we will be ready to flip this over and take off the damn tape. Inspection time once again. Look right there. What is this nonsense? Why do these beads not fuse together? Alright, it's been a while. I went and washed dishes. I popped some food in the oven for dinner. Let's see what fresh hell this has to offer. Alright. This looks pretty good. But as we all know, could be a ruse. But I think we're gonna try to remove the tape. So, tape is coming off rather easily, probably because I've baked all of the sticky off of it. There we go. It's a little warped, but we'll fix that. It is a solid piece of thing, though. All right. All right, well, my potato of a camera died. I don't think we missed anything important. I will find out later when I go to edit all of this, but we've got it flipped over. Tape came off fine, everything seems solid. It's just slightly warped. I'm going to hit this side only a little bit with the iron to try to get that warping out and just kind of smooth everything out a little bit and get it nice and flat, and fuse this side of the beads together a little bit, and then we're done. Okay, so we're done. It happened. I made the thing. It didn't quite go as smoothly as I thought, but it went a lot smoother than the Gundam project. But it's complete. We have a nice big bead channel logo I can look through the middle of. I can talk to you through the middle of. It's not completely set, but I glued a couple pieces of wood on the back to try to fight. There's some warping in this bottom bit that I just couldn't get to stop from happening. I think it was from when I tried to patch this little seam here, and then I put a little hanger on there. Still waiting for that glue to completely set up, but it appears to be solid for the moment. I'm pretty pleased with how this came out. Doing a circle in beads is not the easiest thing, and so of course that's what I wanted to do, was multiple circles to make up my new logo, and then also decided to do the lettering. I was really hesitant to do the lettering because it's a weird font and it's curved around the inner circle of the COC logo. I was really nervous about doing it, but I think doing the printout and having that under the pegboard and kind of using that as a guide really helped. And I think it came out looking really cool. It looks like an old school video game logo, and I love that idea. The fact that I have my own original logo in this format is so exciting to me. If nobody else likes this video, I don't care. This was a project for me, and I've had a rough couple of weeks. My depression and anxiety have been fluctuating a lot. My insomnia flared back up a couple days ago. I got a lot of things going on right now. My kid has been extra whiny the last couple of weeks. He's just going through one of those phases. It's been kind of rough. I really needed this win. And I'm super stoked that it turned out the way that it did. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot else to say about it. I'm super excited that it worked. I feel like I learned a lot from the Gundam head, and that this one just went a lot smoother because of that. I think if I had started with this, that it would have been a total nightmare. So I'm thankful that I learned from my mistakes there. It's not perfect, but I don't care. It looks super cool, and I can't wait to hang it up somewhere. I'm probably going to go hang it by my computer for now, which is where my Gundam head is at the moment, and a couple other things. So you will see it again in future videos. I'm just not sure when yet. Speaking of future videos, I'm not sure what the next one's going to be. I think I'm going to do the carving project I mentioned. It might be a wood burning project, or it might be a mixed media project. A friend of mine has commissioned a gift, and I think I'm going to be a little experimental with it, and try something that I haven't done before. Hopefully it doesn't turn out to look really shitty, because it'd be kind of shitty of me to give them a gift that just looks like crap. But I'm fairly confident in the plan that I have. So that may be the next video. It may be the video after next. I'm not sure. We'll just kind of see how time goes and what I'm able to get completed in the next week. But I'm excited. I feel like I'm going to be able to stick to this video a week schedule for a while. And that's pretty exciting because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do it. But I think if I run into a situation like this where one project isn't going to be finished in time, that I'm okay with just setting it aside, doing a shorter, quicker project, getting that video up first, and then finishing this one, because that's what's happened with this one. Like I said, it was supposed to be last week's video. I think this is going to work for a while. So I'm super excited to see what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the new logo, the new intro format. If you have ideas of what I should make next, I'm open to them. It may not be the very next thing that I make, but if something cool catches my eye, it could be. I do have a couple other things planned. I have some bigger projects planned that will take a while because I don't have the materials for them yet. I will have to go buy some new wood and experiment with a couple things before I can make a video of it. But I've got a bunch of ideas ready to go for at least the next couple of weeks. But I am open to suggestions. As always, thank you guys so much. Again, it means so much to me to have you guys here watching it. If you can, share the video. I really rely on your guys' word of mouth to grow the channel at this point. So right now, any channel growth is pretty much up to you guys and whether or not people stumble across it. So share with your family, share with your friends, share with strangers in the subway, whatever you gotta do. Let them know that this big goofball is making things and you can watch me make them, because that's the idea. But until next time, guys, thanks again, and see you later.
Catharsis of creation.
It'll be cathartic. This will keep us together.